guys, hey, back with the video, and today just showing you what I recently installed here, which is these RFloXa forks. Now these are the Gold Max. As you can see here, we have a drop crown, and with the Max they're actually 16 millimeters wider than the standard forks, so you could actually fit, as you can see, like here, this is a bigger front tire. This is a 21-inch wheel, and you can see I have pretty significant clearance here. You can fit a nice front tire on this fork, and with the drop crown and a 21-inch front, I went out and decided to buy a Talaria Sting fender for the Sur-Ron, just because I think it looks more aggressive and it's not so tiny and fits better with that front wheel. So what do I think of these forks? I think they look amazing. I'm happy with them. Like, I haven't ridden it really on anything bumpy yet, but I can tell, like, just the feel of the compression and stuff feels really nice. And you guys already know I have the rear shock as well. That's the RAB53RV. I think this is a great choice for a rear shock. Like, it's pretty cheap. I think it's under 300 bucks. I bought the set combined total on a Black Friday deal, so it was almost like getting the shock for free. The price of the forks and the shock was still under or around $1,000. So with that, it was a no-brainer for me. I needed forks so bad, and the rear shock was great. On the back, I have a 550-pound spring. Inside here, I have 55-pound springs. I'm 200 pounds, so definitely need some beefier suspension. The nice thing about these forks so far too that I've noticed is that it raises the front of the bike. This Sur-Ron, when you go to a stock Sur-Ron and look at it compared to this bike is huge compared to a stock Sur-Ron. It feels way taller. Obviously that's the 1821 setup, but now these forks with that drop crown are pushing the front end up so much that it feels a lot more comfortable riding. So that is what I have so far. One of the things I'll talk about is the installation. I'm not going to do an installation video. You can find a lot of fork installation videos. The things to note with this is it came with the bottom bearing already on it, so you don't need to buy a bottom bearing. I reused my top bearing because it was in still decent condition. I just cleaned it up and re-greased it, so I used my original. And instead of going with the star nut, I decided to go with this Warp 9 stem lock. So that stem lock is way nicer. I didn't want to cut the fork tube. I decided to just put a bunch of spacers on there, but that stem lock is just squeezing all of that together, which makes it a lot nicer than that star nut. The star nut loosens up over time, and then you're rattling around, and it just doesn't seem as secure. So super easy to put in this stem lock. So just in case anybody's thinking, oh man, I don't want to go through all that trouble, really not hard. The fork install, really super easy as well. One of the best things about these forks, I mean, they have 2 bolts there and 3 bolts there on the the triples. A lot of stability there. It makes it a lot more rigid. One thing I did learn installing these forks is that when you're installing your front wheel and you're pinching these down, and you want to get your forks to not have any kind of like binding or anything like that, you get the forks in there, you put the axle, and this is since this is a wider fork, the axle itself is a brand new axle with a bigger spacer on this side that came with it. So you get this all in, and you tighten down your axle nut with the correct torque specs, and then once you've done that, you tighten down the right, or I would say the left hand side if you're on the bike, the disc brake side. You tighten those pinch bolts down first, and then you get on the bike and you compress the forks a bunch. And once you've done that, everything should be straightened out, and then you tighten down to the torque specs of these. And they even list what the torque specs are. They say 12 to 13 newton meters on both of those. The same on these pinch bolts here. And then this was like 15 newton meters, and I think it even says right here 17 newton meters. They give you all that stuff, and it's right there, so it's really easy. Once I did all that and I tightened everything up and I put my brake back on, or my caliper, they feel fantastic so far. Just out of the box, the new suspension feels and looks amazing. I really love the gold. You guys will have to let me know what you think. I'm super stoked. I cannot wait to get like on a good trail. Unfortunately, it snowed the other day, so most of the trails are all gooped up. So I'm just gonna ride it around, get a couple little hops here and there, and we'll do a full ride video another time, but stay tuned. I'll just get a couple jumps. So one thing to notice, I mean, I'm just telling you how much bigger this bike is with everything that I've got on it compared to a stock Sur-Ron. I am standing flat-footed. I am 6 feet tall, and this seat is still right on me. If I just barely lower, I'm still on the seat. I've never left the seat doing this. On the stock Sur-Ron, I would be like 5 inches above the seat at this point. So this feels very tall compared. And with this front end being lifted up, it feels much more like a dirt bike, like an actual dirt bike instead of the toy that it was. So yeah, it's feeling really good. The suspension just very plush. So haven't really messed with any of the settings yet. Just wanted to get a feel for it and see what I think. Honestly, it might be too muddy, and I'm not wearing gear I want to get ruined, so we'll see. Kind of peek. Feels pretty good. Yeah, just these little to flats, very plush, like keeps me grounded, doesn't bounce. So far so good. Let's try this one again. So nice. I think this field is gonna have to be where I make some new jumps, I think. This stuff isn't me. I didn't make any of this. There's some kids on a four-wheeler or some dirt bikes or something that are doing a lot of this, so I don't know. Let's try this. Ooh. Yeah, they've been hitting this thing with the four-wheeler. All right, so there's a little bit of mud and stuff, but I'll just do one quick lap around this little track that someone made. A couple of jumps to flat, some bumpy terrain. I'll try to hit fast and see how this bike handles that with the suspension. And then I'll head back and give it a quick review. Here we go. Jump to flat, nice and soft. Some choppy stuff there. That back shock is really sitting nice, it's planted. Little jump to flat here. Bumpy. There you go again. Jump to flat, feels good. Man, it feels really planted, really good. I'm not bottoming out the front suspension or rubbing on the fender. Everything about it feels good so far. These are 228 mil, so you're looking at 25 more millimeter travel on the front with the drop crown raised up so high. Super plush. I'm really happy with the purchase. The RFloXa, you know, it's $1,000 versus if I went EXT front and rear, you're looking at $3 grand. I could buy 3 sets of these, the suspension, and I mean, definitely probably not the same quality, but miles better than stock. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I will try to get to a trail and test them out as much as I can, but as you can see, the trails are snow covered everywhere I want to ride. Rode a bunch there last year. My local North Salt Lake trail over there is covered in snow, so it's gonna be a minute, but we'll get there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, keep the rubber side down.